If you would like to run DeepSeek so that you can be 100% assured that none of your data is being shared, I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. We're going to set up DeepSeek locally, we're going to set up network monitoring, and we're also going to prove that it can run completely offline. If you've got no concerns about privacy or safety, you can just access DeepSeek right here. Just go to deepseek.com, click Start Now, but every time you do put a message in, it can potentially be stored on servers in another country. What I'm going to show you is how to get around this, run it locally, and completely safe. All right, the first thing you want to do is head to ollama.com. You might have heard of it, you might not, doesn't matter. Sign in. When you get here, just hit download. We want to download the Ollama executable. Once it's downloaded, you want to install it. I'll be going through this process on Windows, but it's basically the same whether it's Linux or Mac. So next, once we have our Ollama downloaded, installed locally, we want to go across to models. And what you'll see here is a list of the most popular models. I'm just going to go straight to DeepSeek R1. You will see these 1.5, 7, 8, 14, 32, 70, and 671B models. These are how many parameters in the particular model that are available to download and install locally. So this is 1.5 billion parameters. This is 671 billion parameters. And this is the one that's available online in the cloud, which you're accessing through the web. I wouldn't recommend installing this one because it will most likely melt your PC down. It will not work. So just go with the recommended, the 7 billion parameter one. I think I'm running the 8B, but choose 7 or the 8. It should be okay on most PCs. So to do that, I'll go with the 8. All you have to do is hit copy on this, and then we open up the command prompt and we can kick off the install. So on Windows, just in the search bar, just type in CMD and you'll get the command prompt to pop up. Once you're here, you just want to paste in this Ollama run DeepSeek and whichever model you selected. So just copy it from here. So I'll just paste this over here. So Ollama run DeepSeek-R1 :8B. Now, when you hit enter on this, now I'm not going to hit it because I've already installed it. It's going to take only about 400 hours to install. So once that's done, we can go to the next step. I'm joking, but it does take a long time. All right, so I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger here. And I actually am going to press enter because it should detect that I've already installed it and we can actually use it. So let it do its thing. So it's saying send a message. So I can just say hello. And there we go. So because it's the R1 model, it will say it's having a bit of a think about it. And then it's going to say, how can I assist you? And I might say, what are 5 things that a visitor to Melbourne could do? And again, it's going to have a think, and there you go. So that is pretty much it. But you'd probably agree the interface does look a bit 1980s, 1990s. So we want to fix that. We're going to put in a web UI that we can have a very similar interface to what you get with DeepSeek or ChatGPT, etc. So let's do that. So we just want to shut down DeepSeek running locally. And to do that, we can get the command. So if I just click here, you can see it says /? For help. So if I put that in, it gives you these available commands. And to exit, you just do bye. So bye. All right. Now, to get the better user interface, we want to install Docker. So if you don't have Docker and you don't know what it is, first get it, and second, don't worry about what it is. So install Docker. You can choose between Mac, Windows, Linux. Now, once you have Docker installed, you should get to a screen that looks like this. You may have had to restart your PC. You might have had to sign in. All that's pretty standard. When you get here, I'm on the containers tab here, and you'll see there is nothing here. That's okay. We're going to fix that. We just need to install the OpenWeb UI component. So head to docs.openwebui.com, hit on Quick Start here, and then you can see we've already got Docker. Next, we need to get the image. So just click on Copy here. We'll open up our command terminal again, command line terminal. So back at the command prompt, we can just enter that in. So I'll just paste it. Now, again, I've actually already done this. Just hit enter on this. It can take a little bit of time to install, but that's okay. You only need to do it once. Once that is finished, we need to do the next step. So that will be to run the container. Now I actually need to do this. So I will copy this, install that container. I'll just delete this one out. So I need to hit enter on this, and it's going to install the image. And once that is completed, we'll go back over to Docker and you can see it. And here it is. Our container is now running, and you can see it's running on port 3000 on localhost. So pretty easy. You can just click on it and it'll open up a browser, but it's running locally, not using the internet. And here it is. You can see it's running on localhost 3000 up here in the URL, but it is not accessing the internet. I'm going to prove that in a second. But other than that, it looks and feels just like ChatGPT, and we can put in any kind of prompt and we'll get any kind of answer. So I've just clicked on this one, the sample. It'll have a think for a second, and with a bit of luck, it'll return a response pretty quickly. Now, let's take a look at the network traffic to prove that it is not accessing the internet and your data is not being sent anywhere. Now, this is not what you think. The most obvious way to prove that DeepSeek and Ollama are not sending any of your data to other servers or anywhere else on the internet is to disconnect from the internet, and you can definitely do that and it'll all work perfectly. But what you want to know is the most usual use case is you're using DeepSeek locally with an internet connection that it's actually not going to do anything. So on the left-hand side, we have a script, and on the right-hand side, we have a PowerShell window that is running the script. And basically what it's doing, it's specifically monitoring the traffic from the Ollama connection out to the net and also to the local port. So you can see at the moment, there's not a lot happening here. If it was running, we would get some ports. They'll be local ports, and you can actually prove that there is nothing going out to the internet. So I've got the command prompt here. If I run Ollama locally by firing this up, the above PowerShell prompt, which updates every 10 seconds, we should see it change. And there you go. You can see, I'll move this across to the other side. You can see these local ports running 127.0.0.1. This is local traffic. There are no external connections. Now, finally, what if you want to uninstall everything I've shown you to install to make this work? That's not a problem either. So on Windows, you just go to the programs, uninstall. You can search for that down in the search bar. So you uninstall Docker via the programs, you uninstall Ollama. Then you find the .docker and the .ollama folders. These are probably in your C drive users under your username. That's the default place where it's going to install. Just delete both of those folders. And then the last step is, you may want to do this also, is you search for turn Windows features on or off, and then scroll right down until you find the Windows subsystem for Linux and uncheck that, and you are good to go back to where you started, and it's all gone. So if you got some value, do give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one.